Hello and welcome to Porowhita Zoo, our new building project that we'll be working on for the foreseeable future. We'll be working on it alongside our Chester Zoo build, so if you're worried about that going away, there's no need to. We are a number of episodes into that and I do really enjoy making it, but it's very demanding in how long everything takes to recreate realistically and accurately. What you should expect is that the Chester Zoo episodes will likely be less regular than the Porowhita episodes, simply because, as I just said, things can take an age to make in that sometimes. You can expect a Planet Zoo episode every Tuesday from now on though, at least. Porowhita will be much quicker to make because it's all coming out of my own head and there's a lot more leeway to do things the way I want to and in a way that the game likes, which makes a lot of difference. So what do we want to achieve with this new zoo? Well, first off, there are currently something like 90 animals available in Planet Zoo, and I'm looking at having every single one of them represented in Porowhita. So we'll be working towards that, and we're likely to get even more animals through DLC before this is finished, so we'll be incorporating those into the plan too. Secondly, I want to try and make enclosures and buildings that are bigger and more imaginative and more impressive than anything I've been able to do in Chester. I want to make the sorts of builds that people will see in this series and then want to have in their own zoos. And this should be much easier to do because the only constraints I have are ones I apply to myself. So yeah, look for big and bold to be the watchwords for Porowhita. And when I say that I want people to have them, that's another thing that's shaping my approach with this zoo. I'll be paying attention to piece counts so that everything I build can be put on the workshop, and you'll be able to get your hands on all of the stuff we'll be making. At the same time, if I have an idea and the only way to do it is to go over the piece count, I'll do that. Then we'll just have to figure out together a way to get it on the workshop. Or to you, somehow. In terms of overall feel for the zoo then, I'm not choosing a theme or a particular cultural style for it. The main reason for this is I don't want to end up creating something that feels like some kind of crude caricature of the culture I'm trying to represent. At the same time, if everything goes as planned, the zoo's going to be huge. It will take in some sort of small cultural tokens, touchstones, and I want it to feel like it's been built up and on over a long period of time, with different architecture taking precedent in different areas of the zoo because of the time at which they were built. So like there'll be some areas that are sort of more concretey, some areas that may be a bit more woody and so forth, just to give you like a broad strokes idea of what I mean. At the same time, I'm not going to hold myself hostage to any particular aesthetic, and I'll tend to do what I fancy doing at the time and what I think fits in with what I've already built. Hopefully this will give us some decent results and a good amount of variety over the course of the build process. I'll be experimenting with things too. I've already got a few ideas of techniques I want to try out. One of them will be coming up in the second episode, and if I can get it working, I'll be very pleased as it should be pretty cool. There are a couple of little clues in this episode as to one of the major directions that I'm taking with the zoo's design. You've already had the first one actually, and the second is right at the end of the video. So if you've any idea what I might be looking to do with it, leave a comment with what you think it is. Or if there's something you'd like to see in the zoo, then leave a comment too. So the build that we've been watching so far is the entrance area, which will be up on the workshop under the title Porowhita Corner Car Park. The idea is that it's a fairly realistic entrance scene with a road, a car park set piece, meaning the rock formation, and a ticket office which you can slot into one of the four corners of your zoo plot in the game. I had a bit of a search around on YouTube and the Steam workshop to see if anyone else had done anything entrance wise that fit into a corner, and I couldn't find anything. Doesn't mean they don't exist, but I couldn't find them. I like the idea as I feel like it makes really tidy use of space. It also reorientates the entire zoo plot so your sunshine is hitting from a different angle throughout the day, which actually makes quite a difference to how the game looks. As far as I'm concerned, it does anyway. Before the recording kicked off, I'd already taken some measurements and then laid out some of the more labour intensive, less interesting aspects of the car park. So for instance, the road at the front is already made and the floor markings in the car park were already down. We kicked the video off with a ticket office, which I kept fairly plain. The reason for that was I was fairly sure I'd be replacing it down the line anyway, and in fact I've already done that. So in episode 2 you'll see that that's already been ripped up and replaced. In the workshop item though, it will still be this original version, as it's a decent foundation for people to build onto if they want to flare it up for themselves. Because the rest of the zoo is going to be so lavish though, I wanted to keep the idea that the money they'd spent on the enclosures and visitor experience had to be saved somewhere, and that somewhere was in the entrance. We've also got this reasonably lavish rock centrepiece that stands in front of the ticket office, and I didn't want to pull focus from that either. The motif on top of the rocks is actually the logo for Porowhita Zoo, so you'll see that round and about the zoo as we build more and more, and I'm thinking of ways to incorporate different elements of it into things throughout the zoo too. So theming wise, that will be one of the threads that helps to pull it all together, hopefully. I should also point out that this entrance is completely functional too. You'll see in the next episode that there are visitor spawn points in some of the parking bays and across the road in the bushes, so guests will spawn out here and enter the zoo from here. It's sort of going to be, with the bushes one, it's going to be sort of like Field of Dreams where all the players come out of the corn, but it's going to be zoo visitors and bushes. I'm going to hide the parking bay spawns with some hand-built cars. I've seen some good examples of these from other people already, but I'll be trying to make my own versions of them to add a bit of variety to what's available on the workshop, so you can sort of pull from lots of different creators and create a real good looking car park if that's your cup of tea. It's mine, so hopefully there's other people out there that share that cup of tea. The paths to get from these spawn points are all under the car park flooring, and they follow the routes through the car park you'd expect them to as well. So it's not like everyone will just walk wherever and click through everything, which is good. The rest of this build will see me finishing off the signage and planting up the front of the zoo. Then toward the very end, last couple of minutes or so, there is a short tour showing you everything finished off. That includes actually the planting around the rock edifice. That's the last couple of minutes of the video, so skip ahead if that's what you want to see. Remember as well that if you enjoy this video, you can subscribe and ring the bell so that YouTube tells you whenever we put up a new episode. If you'd leave us a like too, that would really help us out, as it helps everybody out. You'll have heard that so many times from lots of people, but honestly it really helps. We're still trying to climb to that magic 100 subscribers, so maybe you can help us get there. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you for the next episode hopefully. Enjoy the rest of this one. Bye!